Hi, y'all. I'm Melanie Lecker. I'm going to face my fears and overcome them. This will not only help me personally, but more importantly, help others talk about violence and eventually build domestic violence shelters. I'm going to be strong and face my fears head on so I can thrive and live my best life while helping others escape through education and bringing awareness to the domestic violence issues. There are some things that I can't say anymore when I talk about domestic violence, but there are some things that I do want to talk about that can help you recognize signs of things that are happening that shouldn't be, such as, violence in your home from somebody you love more than anybody else in the world. So I come to you today to talk about a couple of things. One is handbags for hope. But I received an interesting text yesterday, and it really, really made me see something that I don't know if I had seen before and recognized until yesterday. Because someone I love came to me, and I try to check up on everybody because we don't really call each other anymore. It's usually all through text. And so I try to check up on all the people I love on a regular basis. So as a result, I'm trying to keep a line open for somebody who needs help in the event they're not being treated well. So I got an interesting text back from one of the people I love. And they said that they weren't feeling well and they weren't doing okay. And that they wanted to get away from narcissistic behavior. I don't know. I don't know how to really talk about this without protecting that person. But I'm going to say that, okay, so in the event that you are in a violent situation and you do get sick, that's actually an advantage because you can go to an ER and you can do things to get yourself out of that, even if they are the ones who take you to the ER. This sign right here, you can do when you're on the phone or on the FaceTime stuff. You can do this motion, and that is a symbol that you need help, and it's kind of an emergency. Well, so I told my loved one, I said, please go to the emergency room or go to an urgent care and tell them that you need a safe place to go from here, and it's not your home. And her reply back is what really affected me, because that person said, thank you for believing me, which means that people are talking about what's going on. People are saying things, but they're not getting believed. And it made me recognize that it's the cycle. And the reason is because you are taught to hide this behavior from the person who is doing this horrible thing to you, or these horrible things to you, because it's not just one thing or another. It can be a multitude of different things. It can be emotional. It can be physical. It can be the S word I'm not allowed to say. So it's just literally the biggest thing to be believed when you finally break that. Because in the cycle, they control you by what's called gaslighting, which makes you feel crazy for the way things are going in your life. When you know it's not you, right? It's not you. You're awesome sauce. You always were. And just because they believe that it's your fault that something happened does not make that necessarily true. So you've got to love yourself. But here's what I noticed we're not reaching out to each other anymore. We're not calling each other. We're not talking to each other. And even out in public, it's very rare to like talk to people because everybody's kind of looking at their phone. So not only do we need to believe people who are saying stuff that something might be awfully wrong, not only do we have to believe them, but we have to listen to them, and we have to be there for them, and we have to reach out to people. And that's the way that we're supposed to be doing. You're supposed to love one another like you love yourself. Well, you have to love yourself. And that's how you escape violence. That's how you stand up and you do this motion. Because you love yourself like Jesus loves you. So love yourself and each other. Very important to open your eyes and ears to what's going on around you. Because God's at work right now. And let's live for Jesus. So I want to talk to you guys about Handbags for Hope. So Handbags for Hope is put on by a non-for-profit organization called Texas Advocacy Project. And I'm going to do a whole episode on it, but it's just not going to be in this episode because the whole epiphany of people not being believed happened, and so I had to address that today. So I want to address the fact that I'm going to talk about Handbags for Hope, and I'm going to talk about the drop-off centers for you to recycle your old handbags. So when you're spring cleaning, set your bags and your backpacks aside so that we can help others get away from domestic violence. God bless. Love yourself and each other. Please like, subscribe, and share. Fear you don't own Mel.